Welcome back to Everyday English Desk. I'm Janet.
And I'm Sam.
And today we're talking about one of the strangest parts of everyday English.
Small talk?
Exactly. How'd you guess that so quickly?
Because I have the same production notes as you, probably.
Well, okay, Sam, fair enough. Small talk is the art of having a conversation that is somehow friendly, normal, and slightly fake at the same time.
That is a harsh way to describe it.
Is it? Because small talk always feels like two people politely pretending they both enjoy talking about the weather.
That is fair.
And the worst part is that everyone acts like it's easy.
I think small talk feels easier once you realize it's usually the same few topics over and over.
Which honestly makes me feel a little better.
It should. Most small talk is not deep, it's just a social warm-up.
A social warm-up is a much nicer way to say it than what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
A conversation tutorial no one asked for.
That also works, I suppose.
Especially since small talk has such low stakes.
A lot of small talk starts with very simple questions.
Which is annoying because simple questions can still feel stressful.
That's true. Someone might say, "How's your day going?" or "How have you been?"
And both of those sound easy until someone asks you and suddenly your mind goes blank.
That happens to a lot of folks, I think.
Because now I'm thinking, do you want the real answer or the socially accepted answer?
Usually the socially accepted answer.
Exactly. So this is where people say things like, pretty good, or not bad, or can't complain.
Right. Short answers are very normal in small talk.
Which is good because no one actually wants my full emotional report at the grocery store.
No, probably not.
That would be too much for aisle 7.
Definitely too much for aisle 7, maybe aisle 8 and 9 too.
I always feel like small talk comes back to the same topics.
It usually does.
Weather, work, being busy, being tired, weekend plans. We even made an episode about that last one.
Yes, those are the classics.
And somehow the weather is still undefeated.
People love talking about weather because everyone is already experiencing it.
That is so logical and so boring.
It is, but you can't deny it's effective.
So what are some normal weather lines?
Things like, "It's really nice out today," or "It's supposed to rain later," or "It's been so hot lately."
I do like "it's been so hot lately." That one feels very real.
It does, and it's easy to respond to.
That might be the whole secret of small talk, honestly. Easy lines that are easy to answer.
That is a big part of it.
So maybe that's why people also say things like busy day or long week?
Exactly. Those are simple questions with simple answers.
I think small talk changes a little depending on where you are.
Definitely. Small talk with a coworker sounds a little different than small talk with a cashier or a neighbor.
Right, because with a cashier, it's usually shorter.
Exactly. That might be something like, "How's your day going?" or "Busy today?" or even "Looks like everyone had the same idea today."
That last one is very cashier line energy.
It is. And with neighbors, you might hear things like, "How have you been?" or "Beautiful day, isn't it?"
And with coworkers, people love asking if you have anything planned for the weekend.
They really do.
So even though small talk is always kind of the same, it still shifts a little depending on the situation.
Exactly. The place changes, but the structure usually stays pretty simple.
So the actual hardest part of small talk is not starting it, it's keeping it alive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because once someone says, "How's your day going?" and I say, "Pretty good," now what?
Now you usually ask something back.
Right, which I know in theory, but in the moment I always feel like I'm one sentence away from accidentally ending the conversation. So this is where people ask follow-up questions, right?
Exactly. You might say, "How about you?" or "How's your day going?" right back.
Which is very useful because it buys you time.
It does, and it keeps the conversation balanced.
Balanced is good. Panic is bad.
That could be a variation of the t-shirt idea from the last episode.
Look at us. We're building a whole clothing line by accident.
Pretty soon we'll have a whole line of shirts with inspirational quotes. But there are also a few small talk responses that are very useful because they sound natural in a lot of situations.
Like what?
Things like, "Oh, really?" or "That's nice," or "That sounds fun," or "How did that go?"
Those are good because they work even if you are only half awake.
Exactly. They keep the conversation moving without making things complicated.
I think how did that go is especially useful.
It is. If someone says they had an interview or a meeting or a trip, you can say, how did that go?
That's a very good one.
And if someone says they went somewhere over the weekend, you can say, how was it?
Short, simple, low risk.
That's usually what you want in small talk.
Low risk English. I like that. Okay, let's make this feel real.
All right.
You're a coworker I run into in the break room.
Okay, I'm ready. Hey, Janet, how's your day going?
Pretty good. A little busy, but not too bad. How about you?
Same here. It's been a long day already.
Yeah, it really has. Hopefully the afternoon goes by fast.
I hope so too. Do you have anything fun planned this weekend?
Not really. I might just rest and stay home.
Honestly, that sounds pretty good.
See? That's actually not too bad.
No, that's very normal small talk.
And the good news is that none of those lines were complicated.
Exactly. That's the point.
All right, what if you don't want to keep a conversation going? How do you end small talk?
That is a real skill.
Sometimes the conversation is clearly over, but both people are still standing there politely.
Yes, and that's when you need an exit line.
An exit line sounds dramatic. I like it.
Something simple like, well, I should get back to work. Or, anyway, it was nice talking to you. Or, enjoy the rest of your day.
Enjoy the rest of your day is such a useful one.
It is very polite, very normal, very easy.
And it helps you leave without sounding rude.
Exactly.
That's important because I think half the stress of small talk is not knowing how to escape it gracefully.
That is a very honest way to describe it.
I still think part of what makes small talk feel weird is that people are often saying normal things they don't fully mean.
That's true.
Like when someone says, we should grab coffee sometime, and both people know that may never happen.
That definitely happens.
Or when someone says, how are you, but they really mean hello.
Yes. In English, how are you is often more of a greeting than a serious question.
Which is useful to know because otherwise you might answer with your entire life story.
And that would surprise some people.
It would definitely surprise them.
So that's another reason small talk gets easier. You realize not every question is as deep as it sounds.
That actually helps a lot. So I think small talk is one of those things that feels fake until you realize it's mostly just social glue.
That's a good way to put it.
It's not always exciting, but it helps people connect in small, everyday moments.
Right, and once you know the most common questions, answers, and follow-ups, it gets a lot easier.
So if small talk makes you nervous, the good news is that it's usually very repetitive.
And simple is good,
Simple is very good.
especially when you're tired, busy, or talking to someone by the coffee machine.
That may be the most realistic sentence in this whole episode.
Probably.
Okay, let's do one more.
All right.
You're talking to me at work, and now I need to leave without sounding rude.
So do you have anything fun planned this weekend?
Not much, honestly. Probably just resting a little.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, I should get back to work, but it was nice talking to you.
You too. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Super easy.
Yep, easy and simple.
All right, everyone. Now we want to hear from all of you. Do you enjoy small talk or do you secretly hate it? And what small talk topic do you hear the most in English? Tell us in the comments.
If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. It helps us out a lot. And subscribe for more real English conversations about everyday life.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Everyday English Desk.